Anyway, we're looking for my cards. But yeah, so you just like put the titles on the cards, and then later when you play with them, you get to look back at your cards, and they're really nice. And I would definitely recommend doing this. Also, the Feverwake series is really good too. Fever King and Electric Air by Victoria Lee. Infinity Cycle by Adam Severa. Ooh, I haven't made a new card yet. So I just finished reading Fascinators by Andrew Eliopulos. Sorry, I was checking to see where's the dust cover. Here it is. You guys should get to see the real cover. So this is The Fascinators by Andrew Eliopulos. Also a really good book. It's like these boys, it's these boys and this girl. So there's Sam and James and Delia? I don't know how he pronounces it. I think mentally I pronounce it as like, do you guys have that sometimes where you're reading a book or you're reading a name or whatever, and you kind of like, you're pronouncing it some way in your head, but it's like a half pronunciation between two different pronunciations because you don't know which is right. So like between Delia and Delia, somehow your internal voice can find some weird in between and the E sound. So you could do like a Delia. I don't even know how you do that. Don't try to do that. But like somewhere in between the and E is like happening in your mind, and then you pronounce it, and both and E sound wrong because you're not doing that weird in between E that your mental voice can do that your verbal voice cannot do. If not, sorry if that made no sense, but hopefully some of you relate. But yeah, so it's Delia, I guess is how we're gonna say it, and Sam and James, and they're living in a small town in Georgia, and they do magic at their school. And in this world, everybody has some magic, but only some people like utilize their magic. And it's like frowned upon in different ways. And like, I talked to my friend Em about it, and they described it as like, they haven't read the book, but so apparently there's this show In the Flesh. I don't know if any of y'all have seen it, but it's like zombies, and like being a zombie is a metaphor for being gay, but also the main guy's gay. So it's a very direct thing. That's how this one is too. So like the outcastness, it's probably not a word, the marginalization that comes from utilizing your magic and like openly using it and all of that stuff is very similar to the experience of being a queer person. So it's like hardcore metaphor for it, but also the main character is a queer person. So that's really exciting. And then 2 new people joined their club during the year, specifically including Denver from Nashville, which is also what Sam's mom calls him the whole time. It's just like, well, hello, Denver from Nashville. Very, just Hazel kind of energy. And he's a junior while the others are all seniors. And then there's this girl, Amber, later on, who's really cool too. Anyway, they're all in Georgia. They're having their senior year and learning magic and doing all this different stuff. But then James gets into some trouble with some sketchy people at some party. And it starts this whole thing that goes a lot of different directions, but is really cool. And it has a really nice ending, and I could just read so much more. It's so good. I can't wait for him to release more books. He's also, Andrew Eliopulos is an editor as well as an author. He's written children's book in the past, but I don't think he's written anything YA or adult before. Also, I didn't actually mention, Red, White, and Royal Blue is like new adult, I guess is what they're calling it, which for those who don't know is like young adult, but it's between young adult and adult. So like young adult right now is considered very much like teens, which I think we should just call it teen, and then new adult should be called young adult because they're adults but are young. Teens aren't adults. That's a whole thing. But anyway, sorry. But so young adult is typically teens, where new adult is like right between young adult and adult. So it's like usually people who are in their 20s who are still figuring life out, who are still very young, maybe still living with their parents, maybe going to college, dealing with all that stuff. So like aren't fully adults yet, but are also not kids anymore. Like they're in their 20s, they're figuring life out for the first time as adults, So that's new adult. So like new to being adults, I guess new adult is fine. I just think it's a weird difference. But anyway, so Red, White, and Royal Blue is new adult. Like they're in their 20s. There are some more mature elements that like you might read on fan fiction when you're a teen, but you probably wouldn't typically find in a YA book. And like the language is more intense than any of those scenes, but yeah. And then the other one, Fascinators, is young adult. So anyway, so Andrew Eliopulos has only written children's books before, I believe, and is an editor and has edited specifically for Adam Silvera, and technically Adam Silvera and Becky Albertalli. That's a great thing. So I don't know if you guys have read, anyway, I mention it because I have to add it to my card deck because I just recently finished it. So What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. If you want a better image of it, we also have it right here. So, such a good book. Also so cute. Also queer. Also young adult. But so, I'm not going to get into a whole spiel about that, but I will in the future if y'all want. But it's really funny because Adam Silvera and Becky Albertalli wrote it together. And we're pretty sure it was funny because Adam Silvera mentioned that he, like, brought his editor over, Andrew Eliopulos, who he had edited Infinity Sun for him, which is also an Adam Silvera book, also queer fantasy. Love the queer magic business. It's the first book in a series. I'm really excited to read the rest of them. I think the next one's, what is it? It's Infinity Reaper. He keeps making tweets about it. I'm really excited. But yeah, so So he brought Andrew Eliopulos, his editor, over, and he mentioned it at some point. And so I was looking at it, I was like, wait, what? And Becky Albertalli also mentioned that she brought her own editor as well. So I think they just hardcore, like, brought their own teams to write this book and then put it all together, because there's 2 publishing companies listed as well, and it's the same publishing companies that both, like, one of them is the one that Becky Albertalli has used in a couple different books now, and one of them is the one that Adam Silvera has used in different books now. So I think they straight up just brought their entire own teams over, which I think is so cool and kind of funny, and I just love the whole setup. But yeah, so Andrew Eliopulos has edited What If It's Us, he's edited Infinity Sun, and this is his, like, debut novel in YA. It was so good. It came out, like, 2 days ago. But I read it the day after it came out, and it was great, and would definitely recommend it.